Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Look, today we're having a look at the Eittat 9S throttle body controller off eBay. I want to give you a quick look at it. We're going to do some tests. I'm going to do some 0 to 60 kilometers an hour tests, see whether it makes any difference to our acceleration. I can certainly tell you from driving the car, it definitely feels like the car is more responsive and definitely accelerates a lot quicker. One of the places I really see the benefits of this is the rolling start. So if you're in traffic and you need to jump out and get into a roundabout or something like that, with the turbo lag in the Pajero, it makes it a little bit difficult. I've got myself caught out there a few times, certainly when I first got the car. You know, you'll be creeping up to a roundabout, you'll think, oh, there's a gap, I can make that. You'll go to put the foot down and there's just nothing. Coming from a petrol car to the turbo diesel, that was something that caught me out a few times, but now I'm aware of it. And this is something that'll help you a little bit with that. I think most of the benefits are found at speed. You know, if you're traveling on the freeway at 100, something like that, or 80, and you want to put the foot down, it causes the car to drop that gear a little bit quicker and give you that little bit more acceleration. I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, I don't recommend the Eittat 9S. So we'll do some tests. I'll show you why I don't recommend this model to anybody. I've had some issues with it. I did get it off eBay. The description will be down below with everything else that you see in this video. And I did manage to get the seller to give me my money back on this one because I just don't think it was fit for purpose and frankly can be dangerous in some situations. So anyway, come with me, let's have a look and we'll check out the Eittat 9S throttle controller. Just to show you how this works, what I've actually done is just taken off this bottom panel under here. You can do this just by feel. It is a little bit challenging, but you can see this is the connector coming down from your throttle here. This is the adapter which plugs into that cable. And then on the other end, you've got this part that's just going to plug into the back of your throttle. So just to give you some idea, there's our throttle there, our accelerator pedal. This is obviously the mechanism of the throttle. And that's just on the right hand side. Now we're just going to disconnect this and disconnect it from that one there, and we're going to plug this original back into our throttle there. Just need to spin that around. Now again, you can do this just by reaching up. Once you've done it, you can just reach up here without actually having to look at what you're doing and reach that and you know, unplug it, plug it back in, whatever. On the other end, so basically this is what your throttle controller looks like. Pretty much just an extension that jumps in between the throttle body and the cable coming from your throttle. All the magic obviously happens in this little box here, and then you've just got a run of cable, which I've just run up beside the dash there. Because I was just testing this out and I wanted to be able to provide it to other people so they could test. Now interestingly enough, when I wasn't happy with this and I was unplugging it, what I did was unplug it from this little controller thinking that that was going to turn it off, but interestingly it didn't. It was still interacting with the throttle and making it jumpy. So whether the issue is actually in the connections here, in the controller itself, the controller body itself, I'm not really sure. So here's our little abode reader that I picked up off eBay. I think I paid about 12 bucks, 15 bucks or something like that for this one. I'm going to do a quick review on this later on. For now, there'll be a link in the description where I picked this one up off eBay. And because this one will stay on once you've turned the car off and does have the ability to drain your battery, there'll be a little bit of current being pulled while the car is off. And for a whole bunch of the other ones, what I actually picked up was this cable here, which is basically a long extension cord for your abode adapter. This is just a little extension cable that'll go between the abode plug or the abode socket on the car and run down to your abode reader. Obviously just plug that in and you have the ability just to reach down and turn it on and off. If we turn that on, you'll see she powers up. There we go. You can see there on the torque app, it has linked up to our abode 2 reader. Just waiting for me to turn the car on. So it'll get the car profile once we've turned that on. There you go. It's happy, it's doing its thing, it's taking some readings. So you can see here we've got the abode reader. Now if you try and tap that, it won't actually connect. It doesn't do that. How it actually works is if you go into your torque app, you'll see at the top you've got a couple of icons. You'll see across the top, so you've got the satellite. I think that's just a connection to the phone. Then you've got your OBD or your Bluetooth connection, and then you've got your profile, or you've got the connection to the car. So it's reading from the car. See all three lights on the ABD 2 reader have lit up. The left one is power. The next one is obviously the ABD, and then finally the one on the right hand side which says PC, so that would be the connection to our phone or mobile device via the Bluetooth. Previous videos I have used the fault code option to read fault codes and to clear those, but we won't get into that today. What we're interested in is our real-time information, and again, when I might get around to doing a review of the Torque app. But if you want to see how to set this up for your Pajero specifically, go to the Pajero forum there in Victoria, Australia. And there's about 20 odd pages discussing the OBD2 readers and how to set it up to read your trans temps. Alright, we're going to back out and we'll see how we go. Here we are, we're just on a back road. We've got a bit of space to ourselves. We'll make sure there's no traffic coming. We're just going to try and do some 0 to 60s, and we'll just do a couple of quick runs. Hopefully the screen recording of the phone here is going to give you enough of an idea. Have a look at those readings and we can see whether there's any discernible difference. Whilst we've got this connected, and you can see what difference it makes, you can see the tacho over there on the right hand side. What I'm going to do is just put my foot on the accelerator just a little bit, just to bring it up. 1300 revs, and we are on SP1. We're just going to increase this, trying to keep our throttle in the same position. So it's definitely making an adjustment to the throttle position, and obviously that has a result in making you accelerate a little bit faster, but it is doing something different rather than just putting your foot down harder. I have seen lots of discussions on the forum about just put your foot down harder, but it doesn't quite do the same. I have done that test and have put my foot down harder, but somehow this does pick up just that little bit better and it feels that much more crisp. So let's just do some tests here. I'm not sure how this is going to come out, but we're going to give it our best shot, guys. So we're going to leave it in SP1. Go. And 60 by the telegraph pole. SP5, starting at the telegraph pole, foot to the floor. Okay, so we probably hit that, I'd say only maybe a few meters ahead of the telegraph pole where we made the 60 last time. So it was only a very small difference, but regardless there was a difference. Been around, and we'll change her up to SP9, all the way up to 9. Now you still got your turbo lag, it's never going to remove your turbo lag. SP9, throttle to the floor. No throttle controller, and foot to the floor. Telegraph pole and there. Now just here is going to be all 4 runs put together, so you can see them side by side. The surprise here is really the maximum boost and maximum throttle position with no controller, as you can see there. Peaking at 96.5% for throttle position. It never made the 100%, and the maximum of 14.7 psi boost. That was the big surprise. All of the others topping out at 100% throttle position, with SP5 and SP9 reaching at 32 psi for maximum boost and 31.6 psi for SP1. Interestingly enough, SP1 was the quickest with 12.04 seconds, followed by the next two, SP5 at 13.19 and SP9 at 14.19. No surprises, the no throttle controller coming in at 19.03 seconds. So that's about a 7-second improvement from 0 to 60. And you will notice I was going off the dial on the car for 60, so you'll see for a few of these I was around about the 55, 57. I was looking at that for all of the tests, so that's pretty close for all of them. I do find that SP5, or the higher you go on the scale, even up to SP9, you notice a big difference when you're accelerating once you're already rolling and the car drops gears and takes off. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to jump over and I'm going to show you why I don't like this. So just to give you an example, we're out here just doing a little bit of exploring with the dog here. We're just taking a few tracks down here at the Wattigans, just poking our nose in, just having a look and see what's around. So here's an opportunity for us to put it in low range. Now, we don't need to put it in low range. obviously for this track. In fact, we don't even need to be in four-wheel drive. We could be doing this very easily just in two-wheel drive only. I do think this is a good spot to be able to put it in low range and just give you an idea of how jumpy it is even in SP1, which is the lower setting here. Certainly if you're doing rock climbing or something along those lines, something where you really need low range and you need to be able to be pretty accurate on the throttle, this makes it near impossible. So we'll just give you a quick look at that. Okay, so you'll see we're now engaged, we're in low range and we are in first. Just going to feather the throttle as you would if you were just climbing over some rocks or you were doing something that required low range. And you'll just get an idea of how jumpy this is. We'll just touch this throttle and you'll watch it jump basically. In fact, what I'm doing is actually pushing my foot against the footwell like that, as you do, to just maintain a steady speed in low range. You'll see that I'm not even moving that foot, and you'll watch it jump. Overall, I like the feel of having the throttle controller in the car, but I'm just not willing to sacrifice that safety, you know, going into car parks and the way that car lurches, and certainly when I'm forward driving, the ability to control that throttle when I need to. You know, if I'm doing a little bit of rock climbing or something like that, something that needs to feather the throttle and just to be a little bit more sensitive rather than putting the foot down, I just can't trust it. Unfortunately, this one wasn't bang for buck like you quite often get off eBay, so probably end up giving this one a miss. I'll put links in the description for the Eittat so you know which one to avoid, and the OBD 2 reader that I've picked up there that I use with the Pajero, that little extension cable that has the power button on it. All those links will be down below where I located those on eBay. Thanks very much, guys. Catch you in the next one. Cut, Titan.